From Tobey Maguire, the most expected return in the entire multiverse,
and had talked about, they sort of just, teased it. I think Amy was like, we'd love to talk to you, and you know what this is about.
to Kang showing up with a new face after Marvel moved on from Jonathan Majors.
I love him. I love Kang. I love Kang.
I mean,
Dr. Doom is wicked though.
Here are the most expected versus least expected characters who could appear in Avengers Doomsday, starting with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. He was never supposed to return. Logan closed the book perfectly. No sequel setup, no cliffhanger, nothing left to continue. For years, he repeated the same answer in interviews, "I'm done," and then Deadpool and Wolverine changed everything. But here's what makes his return in Avengers Doomsday feel almost guaranteed. Even though he wasn't shown in that Doomsday chair announcement video, Hugh has been doing the exact opposite of someone who's finished with the role. He's been spotted training again, not casually working out, but getting superhero level shredded. Then came the interview. A reporter asked him directly about returning after Deadpool and Wolverine, and instead of shutting it down like he did for years, Hugh gave the most suspicious answer possible.
Rumors you're going to appear in Avengers Doomsday in 2026. That's word on the curb. I know you can't say much, but can you say something?
I really can't say much, except when you say appear, more like dominate and destroy every other character. I'm kidding.
Oh, he's in it. It's always either a flat no, which usually means no, or a non-answer dancing around the subject, which means yes. Marvel also doesn't bring a legacy actor out of retirement just to close the door again. If Hugh is back now, he's back because the MCU needs a face big enough to survive the shift into multiversal war. Fans have waited 20 years to see Wolverine interact with the Avengers. Doomsday is the moment that finally makes sense. I think he's definitely in it. I know some people are saying they'll save him for Secret Wars, but there's other characters that can be saved. If we are getting the X-Men universe, why would they leave out half of the X-Men? But if he's the comeback everyone sees coming, the next name would shock the entire fandom because nobody expects Marvel to bring him back at all, especially after the way his story ended. Thanos is the last character anyone expects to see in Avengers Doomsday, and that's exactly why his name keeps coming up. Not because there are leaks or set photos, but because bringing him back would change the entire tone of the movie instantly. The big thing to understand is this: Thanos already had the most definitive ending in MCU history. He died twice. His arc is complete. His story doesn't need more chapters, and that's why a Doomsday appearance feels unlikely. Marvel isn't trying to repeat the Infinity Saga, they're trying to replace it. Even Josh Brolin has hinted at that. In recent interviews, he said he would love to return as Thanos, which tells you everything.
The Thanos thing, if they called me in London right now and said, let's do this, I'd be like, I'll be there tomorrow.
I mean, are you in contact? Obviously, Downey is back. We're excited to see what he does with Doom. Like, do you stay in touch with Downey, the Russos, and are you abreast of like what they're doing?
Probably 4 to 6 times a year. I talk to the Russos probably 4 to 6 times a week.
If he's talking about wanting to come back, it means he hasn't filmed anything for Doomsday. Actors don't say "I'd love to" when they're already under NDA for a secret cameo. I don't want him to be just a throwaway character to show how powerful Doom is. If they have him back, it should be a decent role. The way things are shaping up, it seems quite likely they'll be calling him soon if everything is headed towards Secret Wars like it seems like it is. If Thanos returns anywhere, it's far more believable for Secret Wars, not as the main villain, but as a multiversal variant, a wildcard ally, or even a warning of what's coming. That's why Thanos stays in the least expected category, but the next character is the complete opposite. Fans aren't wondering if she's returning, they're wondering how Marvel plans to bring her back. Scarlet Witch might be the only character in the MCU who died without anyone actually believing it. Her ending in Multiverse of Madness never showed a body, just a flash of red and a collapse. Marvel doesn't permanently erase one of their strongest characters with an off-screen moment. Fans didn't buy it. 97% of the time on TV movie deaths, if you don't see the body, then assume they are alive. But here's where things get even more interesting. Recent rumors claim Dr. Doom may use Wanda in Doomsday, not as an ally, but as part of his will and power-stealing plan, the same way he weaponizes god-level forces in the comics. If that's true, her return becomes more than emotional, it becomes essential.
Are you gonna do more Marvel?
I hope so. They don't tell me anything about my fate, so
They don't even let you know that you're coming back, or like?
No, I don't know.
But you can.
I should come back.
Yeah, of course.
I think it should turn up that she's been resurrected by Doctor Doom, and they are now married to each other. Then, it should be revealed that she is not actually under Doctor Doom's control, but instead, she is just going along with it to manipulate him. And it actually lines up. Wanda is tied to chaos magic, the Darkhold, and reality-breaking forces, the exact ingredients that spark incursions and multiversal collapse. Doom wouldn't just want that power, he would need it. On top of that, the fan demand is unlike anything else in the MCU. Every new announcement sparks the same question: is Wanda actually coming back? And Joe Russo had an interesting answer to that.
You hold it outside. Yes, is Wanda coming back in the next Avengers? We shall see. I hope so.
And if Wanda is in the most expected category, the next comeback lands on the total opposite side. A return fans would love, but still isn't likely to happen. Andrew Garfield is the definition of unfinished business. No Way Home didn't just revive his version of Spider-Man, it turned him into a fan favorite overnight. People went from clowning the Amazing Spider-Man era to begging Marvel to give him another movie. So why is he in the least expected category? Because unlike Tobey, Andrew has zero solid ties to Doomsday right now. No leaks, no industry whispers, not even a suspicious no-comment interview. Every time he's asked about returning, Andrew gives the same honest answer. He'd love to come back if the story's right, but nobody from Marvel has called him since No Way Home. And that's the key difference. If he returns anywhere, it makes way more sense in Secret Wars, where Marvel brings in every Spider-Man variant at once instead of splitting the impact across 2 movies.
Next. Will Tobey and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man be in Avengers Doomsday as well? No. Unequivocally, fucking no.
It's unlikely he is in it, and I'd argue he shouldn't be in it, as the film likely ends with the creation of Battleworld similar to Thanos' snap in Infinity War. It's obvious there will be many cameos, but the really big movie for that should be Secret Wars, not this one. That's where he and Tobey are likely to show up if they do. So while the internet would explode if he showed up in Doomsday, the chances are still low, not because fans don't want it, but because the timing doesn't line up yet. If Andrew Garfield is the comeback fans want, Tobey Maguire is the comeback fans are already betting money on. The second No Way Home brought him back, the entire multiverse storyline shifted. Marvel didn't treat his return like a nostalgia cameo. They treated it like setup. That's why he sits at the top of the most expected list for Doomsday. And lately, the rumors have gotten harder to ignore. Fans spotted Tobey in the UK around the same time Doomsday reshoots were happening, not at a convention, not doing press, just quietly in the same city as a production. Then multiple reliable scoopers claimed he was seen on set, not visiting, but fully involved. The most interesting detail? Reports say Marvel is using a CGI suit for him this time, the same approach they use when they're hiding a new design or trying to prevent leaks. You don't bring an actor back in a digital suit unless you're planning something big. There's also the way Marvel has handled the rumors. No denials, no shutdowns, just silence. And Marvel only goes silent when the truth is too close to spoil. Plus, Tobey is the only Spider-Man who fits the tone Doomsday needs. He's older, mythic, calm under chaos, the kind of presence who can stand next to Doctor Doom and Hugh Jackman without getting overshadowed. Tobey's story ends in Doomsday, and Andrew's ends in Secret Wars. This would even make sense regarding Holland's role. In Secret Wars, he learns what happened in Doomsday and discovers that Tobey died, so now Holland takes it personally. In the midst of all this, he discovers a symbiote they were experimenting on and decides to use it as a power-up. This would be a coherent but also ironically cruel way to integrate Holland, because he uses the symbiote to avenge Tobey without knowing that the last thing Tobey would want is for him to use it. And since Andrew never saw the symbiote, he supports Holland. Tobey's comeback feels like an open secret at this point, but the next character went from being the face of the MCU to someone fans aren't expecting to see at all. Kang was supposed to be the next Thanos. Marvel built an entire saga around him, Loki, Quantumania, and even a movie literally called Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. Then everything collapsed almost overnight. After Jonathan Majors became involved in a highly publicized legal situation, Marvel quietly cut ties with him and froze the character. No recast announcements, no replacement plans, just a full stop. And that's when the shift happened. Insiders revealed that Doctor Doom was originally meant to enter the story after Kang, not replace him. Kang was supposed to lead the multiverse arc, and Doom would take over later for Secret Wars. Instead, Marvel flipped the order. They removed Kang Dynasty from the title, stopped mentioning him in marketing, and moved forward with Doom as the main threat years earlier than planned. It wasn't a creative twist, it was damage control.
Would you want your old role back, like your old job back as Kang the Conqueror?
Kang?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, hell yeah. I love him. That's why I said I love him. I love him. I love Kang. Love time. Love he who remains. Love him.
That's why a brand new Kang suddenly appearing in Avengers Doomsday feels extremely unlikely. I'm fine if they don't address it at all, but if they do, I hope it is super simple and they don't spend tons of runtime on resolving the change they hadn't planned for. The problem is the actor who played Kang. I doubt he'd sign on to Doomsday for a 5-second death scene. I think they'll have a cold open where Doom is standing there with dead Kang bodies around him, all with their faces turned away so they can use stand-in actors. Doom will probably say something confirming that he's killed all the Kangs, and that will be it. So while a surprise recast would definitely break the internet, the odds are slim. But the next character is the complete opposite. Someone the studio seems to be bringing back on purpose. Steve Rogers was supposed to be done. Endgame gave him the cleanest exit in MCU history, but lately Marvel has been dropping hints that his story might not be as closed as everyone thought. The biggest clue came from the set leaks. Fans spotted a house being built for Avengers Doomsday that looks identical to the one from Steve and Peggy's final scene in Endgame. Same porch, same siding, same layout. That's not a coincidence. Marvel doesn't rebuild a location that specific unless it matters. It gets even more suspicious. Seems like they're using Endgame as the hook / lead in. It makes sense. Casual audiences have completely started checking out the past 6 years. You can't start a new Avengers movie asking people to get hyped for Yelena, John Walker, and Shang-Chi. Then came the interviews. Whenever Chris Evans is asked about returning, he never gives a hard no.
I know you're not going to confirm or deny anything with Avengers related, but I will ask. Obviously, Downey's coming back. The Russos are coming back. As friends, outside of as colleagues, have you talked to them since they signed the dotted line?
Yeah, I talk to them all the time. It's where Pedro is right now. I mean, it's sad to be away. It's sad to not be back with the band, but I'm sure they're doing something incredible, and I'm sure it's going to be that much harder when it comes out, and you feel like you weren't invited to the party.
That's not how actors talk when the door is closed. That's how they talk when the timing just hasn't been announced yet. I've never smelled more cap in my life. Okay, this actually felt like Chris lying, and up until this point, I did not think he'd reappear, but now, and from Marvel's perspective, the move makes sense. That's why Captain America sits in the most expected category. Not because of rumors, but because Marvel is quietly telling the audience he still matters. And if Steve returning feels almost guaranteed, the next comeback would be the exact opposite. A character whose story ended on screen in a way nobody thought Marvel would ever undo. Natasha's story didn't end with mystery or an off-screen wink. Her sacrifice in Endgame was final, emotional, and essential to the plot. Marvel showed a body, gave closure, and built the entire ending around that moment never being reversed. That already makes her return unlikely, but the real-world situation makes it even clearer. Scarlett Johansson had a very public dispute with Disney over the Black Widow release. She filed a lawsuit after the movie dropped on streaming without the original theatrical terms she expected, and the situation got tense fast. Even though the two sides eventually settled, it changed the relationship. Scarlett later said she was ready to move on and wasn't interested in returning as Natasha again.
And then lastly, is it true you're coming back to the MCU?
Is it true? I don't think so. No.
Okay.
She's not wrong. Natasha's story is done, and it isn't worth damaging other characters' arcs or overstuffing Doomsday Secret Wars any more than they will already be. There are no leaks, no set sightings, no insider whispers, and none of the suspicious silence we see with Toby or Steve. Nothing. Undoing Natasha's death would also cheapen one of the most meaningful sacrifices in the MCU, and Marvel knows that. If she ever appears again, it would be as a variant or a brief moment in Secret Wars. A farewell, not a return.